personally, like I could tell you 3 million stories about Buffy because it is such a formative show for me. And the main one being when it first went on the air, my friend Dan, I used to watch a lot of TV with him and a couple of other people, and I would go over, actually we would watch My So-Called Life together, and all through my life I've had groups of people that I watched various TV shows with. When I was in Atlanta, I used to watch Melrose Place with people. When I was in New York, I had a group of friends that I would go out to Brooklyn and watch ER and Friends and Seinfeld when they were on. But Buffy became this big thing for myself, Dan and his then girlfriend, now wife, Sasha, and we would get together all the time and watch it. But I remember the first episode I got into, I was just watching it at home, and it was The Pack, which is from the first season, which I don't think people consider a particularly great episode, although I think it's very good. But it has a couple of weird things that happen, including the principal being eaten. And I remember during the third commercial break, I actually called Dan up and I said, "Are you watching this? There's something really interesting going on with this show. Like, it's just a lot darker and stranger than I expected." And I immediately just hooked into it. And then basically, because I was writing not criticism, but journalism, for the next, basically every season, I would pitch the New York Times Magazine on a profile of Joss Whedon. And like, I kept trying to find a different peg for it. At one point, in the second season, I was like, this is an amazing show, you should do this, and they wouldn't do it. And then in the third season, they had this episode that had a school shooting, and Columbine had happened, and so I pitched it as very relevant to school violence, and they didn't go for it. And then finally, he was making Firefly, and they actually green-lighted it. So I had my dream happen, which is that I got to write, and I actually don't think this is a very good profile that I wrote. It was okay. I wasn't experienced enough at writing profiles. But I did get my dream, which is that I went out to Mutant Enemy and got to meet all the writers and stand on the set of Firefly with the spaceship when they were first making the show and before it had come out. So basically, it went from it went from there to there. But I have a lot. I mean, this is just a very meaningful show to me, and it turned me into the crazy TV arguing person that I am. This is the thing about talking about early TV experiences. I like TV, but this was transformative because I became a fan of the show, and also because I was very frustrated by the fact that although it was occasionally covered, it was not given what I felt was the respect for what it was doing to TV and the ambition it had and the beautiful things it had to say, because it was out at the same time as The Sopranos, and The Sopranos, a show I love, was getting all the attention.